The next award recipient is Stephanie Keon Pinkerton. Stephanie Keon Pinkerton is an elementary school teacher at St. Andrew's School in Killaloe, Renfrew County. Stephanie speaks publicly about the issue of violence against women in her rural community, where 3 women were killed in September 2015. As a teacher, Stephanie works to dismantle rape culture and to promote consent culture. She integrates anti-violence elements in her day-to-day teaching and inspires her colleagues to incorporate these values into their own teaching. She explores consensus decision-making with her students and, with the help of a colleague, leads a social skills group focused on listening and open communication. Stephanie uses the youth-focused part of the Draw the Line campaign to help her young students develop their ability to prevent sexual violence. Stephanie exemplifies how integrating anti-violence elements in classroom activities can help young students learn essential, healthy relationships and sexual violence prevention skills. Please join me in congratulating Stephanie Keon Pinkerton.
I'm very, very honored to be here. Very, very nervous. So most of you probably have not heard of Killaloe. Killaloe is a community of 700 people in the Ottawa Valley. On September 22nd, 2015, I was in my classroom with my kindergarten students. And mid-morning, our principal came to the door and told us that we were to initiate our lockdown procedure. All we knew at that point was that there had been a domestic incident in Wilno, Ontario, which was 10 minutes away, where my youngest child goes to daycare at that time. And by noon, we knew that a local man had murdered 3 local women in the space of an hour. 2 of them were women that I knew. So it really galvanized my understanding of the specific challenges that we face in rural communities, where a 911 call can mean a 45-minute wait for police to arrive, where we are in a hunting culture, we're in a hockey culture, we're in a culture where I take my van to get fixed because my husband hit a deer with my van, and there's a calendar of bikini-clad women on the wall where my 8-year-old daughter is coming in with me to where I pay. So for me, it's a big battle. I live in a very old-fashioned community where family ties run very deep, loyalties run very deep, and where people don't want to talk about this stuff. We don't air our dirty laundry. We're a pioneer culture. We're hard scrabble. We're survivors. And we all know what's happening, but no one talks about it. So before there was ever any announcement on the news about who the man was, everyone in my staff knew who it was. We knew. He had been having run-ins for 20 years, domestic violence, and he always got off. He always found a loophole. So it was inevitable. And I realized that my role was a very powerful one because I was teaching kindergarten. So I could start with 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, and I could teach them how to say no and how to say stop when someone was hurting them or touching them in any way, hugging them if they didn't want to, stroking their hair as kindergartens do. And by the time they left my classroom, they could all confidently say no or stop. And they knew if no one listened, they were to come and get help. And they did. So now I'm teaching kindergarten, or teaching my former kindergarten students in grade 4 and 5, and the conversations are a little different. But in my classroom, consent means if you're hungry, you eat. That's bodily autonomy. I don't have the right to tell you when to eat. If you need to go to the washroom, go. You don't have to ask me to go to the washroom. I don't own your body. And that's a powerful message for children. Children need to hear that. They need to know they don't have to hug someone if they don't want to. It seems really basic, but sometimes I feel like my students are hearing it for the first time. So, that was long-winded. I don't know if my 2 minutes are up. My brother is supposed to give me the signal. I would like to thank Joanne Brooks of the Women's Sexual Assault Crisis Center and the volunteer staff that have been working tirelessly since long before September 22nd in a very, very challenging area. She nominated me, so I thank Joanne very much. The staff of the Killaloe Community Resource Center runs a girls program that is very focused on empowering young girls to use their voice and to learn about consent. My daughter has been a recipient of their wonderful, wonderful services. I thank my son and my 3 daughters for always keeping me motivated, because this is weary work, this is hard work. And it sometimes feels like nothing's going to change, and it feels like we're raising our children to go into a hard, hard world. But I see the change happening. It's happening. And everyone here is part of it, and Kenneth and his generation are part of it, and it's really beautiful to be part of it. So my children motivate me when I feel like nothing's changing. And I would just like to accept this award in honor of Anastasia Kuzik, Natalie Wormerdam, and Carol Culleton, who lost their lives to domestic violence. Thank you very much.